And I've been wrestling 15 years and attend all these different damn places and seen all this. I am so far above them mentally with mental gymnastics. As far as the wrestling business, what I did was I intimidated a lot of people because I didn't give a...
Hey, Rip, we've now been on the air for 22 seconds, and you still haven't even looked at the monitor, talked on the microphone, or paid any attention, did any kind of head bobbing, anything for episode 40 of Wrestling with Rip Rogers. I mean, it says your name on the marquee, and we can't even get you to pay attention. We're at 40 seconds now, and you're still on your phone.
So I wanted to make sure you're going to say, oh, you cuss, and you haven't been on 30 seconds yet.
Oh, that's what you're doing. That's why you're sitting there on Twitter.
No, I'm looking on.
That's why.
That thing with me and Punk. Look at them likes on there, baby.
Oh my God,
I'm just like a girl.
You are a little 8th grade girl. Episode 40, Wrestling with Rip Rogers. We are here today, baby. It's a Wednesday because it's the big holiday week, and Thanksgiving is tomorrow. You had no idea it was even Thanksgiving, and we are recording today on a Wednesday, Rip. Are you excited? Are you fired up and ready to go for Thanksgiving 2022, Rip?
Thanksgiving? I'm just having mashed potatoes.
See how you're looking at me?
No, I'm not looking at you. I'm right over here. Yeah. Looking at you would be like that.
That's how you usually are.
Yeah, right.
So you got some of your 10-cent pack of instant mashed potatoes ready to go for Thanksgiving, Rip?
Well, they cost $1. You
know? Oh, $1?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, inflation, man.
When I got the cheap can of mixed vegetables, 75 cents.
I don't know if you listened to our last show, but probably 90% of the show you couldn't hear a word that you said on there. So
well, I don't scream in the microphone.
Well, you need to start. You need to start.
No, I ain't doing
something
that.
You'd rather just nobody hear you. Like we want people to hear.
That's what you want to do with women. You want to turn their volume down or act like you're listening to, and you're just shaking your head like the king, going.
I put out all those old promos. You and Tommy Rich, you and Austin Idol, and you're on the microphone, just animated, on fire, loud, clear, and you get on here and it's.
Okay.
Bring back some of that fire, Rip. This is the Wrestling with Rip Rogers show. People want to hear Rip Rogers, not a bunch of mumble.
Well, I had to sit down here, and then I have to get up.
And I had your microphone right here because you always turn right to me. Look, you can still see your pretty face in there. I don't know why you won't just leave it here because you're never going to talk into it right here.
I am awful hot. So
you haven't talked into it in that spot in 40 episodes, 39 episodes.
Well, this is the 40th, right?
So let's try something new.
All right. That's sort of like bend over, bitch.
He said,
try something new.
All right.
Let me put it up or ours.
So what's been up, Rip?
I've been training. What do you think I was doing?
Training?
At the gym, you ought to go there once in a while.
Yeah, I know.
You can't. You got more equipment that the gym does because your hot old lady goes out and makes all the money and puts you up in the mansion.
See the new exercise bike I got out there? I got a little bike out there now too.
Well, I can't do that because of my bad leg, and so you're just teasing me with exercising my legs, and I can't do it. So what an asshole you are.
So did you see the exercise bike I got out there?
You showed it to me last week.
Yeah, it's pretty nice, huh? Actually, it's not that fantastic. Nice, really. It's a cheap bike, but it gets the job done.
No, wait a minute. I'm looking at your legs now.
Oh, they're lean, baby.
You and Twink.
They are lean.
I've got the world's greatest legs.
My legs have gotten. They've always been skinny.
Thin.
They are so skinny right now.
That's why you were the human pogo stick of being a quick leaper.
They are so skinny right now. I tell you what, though, I think I think this bike is gonna help. And I've been looking online at Facebook Marketplace. I'm trying to find me one of those little squat leg presses. I'm trying to find me
a leg press. Why do you want a leg press for?
Why not? You just told me how skinny my legs were.
Well, why don't you do some free squats and lunges?
Yeah, I don't like those. I can't even do a lunge. You couldn't do a lunge right now either.
Well, if my life depended on it, you're right. I probably couldn't do it. I'm not supposed to. Then my hips would pop out.
I don't like the free squats really either. I don't like any of it. That's why my legs look like they do. But I think if
so if you had leg press,
I think I would do it. Yeah.
Then you'd be Mr. Universe all of a sudden.
I'd be close. I'd be right up there, I think.
At least the top 3.
I think I'd be right up there with I don't even know who's around these days.
Well, they won't be around long. They'll be dead pretty soon from so many steroids.
You think they still do steroids in the bodybuilding?
Oh no, none at all.
What about like HGH? You think that's as bad as steroids, or you think people got it now to where they can kind of do HGH with like a doctor monitoring it? And,
Well, what do you think, Vince?
and
How do
it'll
you
be
think
fine?
Vince McMahon looks so good at that age?
Okay.
Hell, he was
Probably that way.
He was probably taking everything his doctor. He'd probably get a physical every week. He'd come in there, doc say, okay, level off on this. This is okay. This is fine. Don't do as much as this.
Guy comes in and been wrestling
If not,
5
you're
years.
a
I've
freak.
been wrestling,
So then you think that? I mean, you think
But everybody can't afford that.
right?
I don't even take vitamins. It costs too much. Everything costs too much.
Yeah, look at that episode 40. Just got cut off there. See that? Just
Yeah.
boom.
Did I do that?
No.
It
So
just-
remember, we're at that camera. I'm raising this so
Oh.
we try to look at that camera more because we always look at the screen, which would be now closer to that camera.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got it going on here. Light of Studios.
Yeah, it's
Rip.
episode 40. You
Just-
really can't see it, but you know what it says, so what the
Just-
hell? Episode 40, that says.
Think we're gonna get our live show in today? Did you tweet that out by chance that we're going live today?
No.
No.
Am I the producer or the director? Or the garbage? All I do is drink your Cokes and eat your mini muffins, and today you didn't give me no mini muffins. Now I'm sitting here, I can't think because I've had no calories in me.
I just wish you would speak up a little bit.
Well, I'm right here at the thing.
I mean, we'll quit recording, and then you'll tell me some elaborate story
No, I won't.
and be just as loud as you possibly can and animated
Well, probably
and everything else. I'm like, why don't you just do that when we're on air?
Because when I'm telling you stories off the air, I got free speech. I'm allowed to talk the way I want.
You can cuss on here. I've been telling you that for weeks now. You can
Oh.
cuss. there's like 3 words you can't say.
What are they?
And I'm not going to say them.
Wait a minute.
And I almost forgot. Are you kidding me? Oh my God.
Well, wait a minute. That was pretty loud. When they're loud, they don't stink much.
I
It's
almost
the
forgot
silent
to edit that
sneakers.
one word out last time.
Which one was that?
The one word.
I don't know what that was.
I can't say it. Hey, listen, Rip. I forget to do this. Like, subscribe, Wrestling with Rip Rogers on YouTube.
And smash.
Smash that like button. We are up to, Rip. I don't know if you've looked at this lately.
I don't know how to get to it. So
Well, that doesn't surprise me. 1,994 subscribers.
that means we need 6. We need 6 people to kayfabe and get another account or something like that.
6 people before we do
I ain't doing nothing.
dangerous drugs on the air. You got to speak up, Rip. You got to
Oh.
talk louder, man.
I am talking loud.
No, you're not.
Mm.
Dangerous drugs on the
Ouch,
air.
you're hurting my ear.
Right here at Lila Studios.
You know, that's the ear of the great Bobby Eaton punched me in 1977 in Nashville. Punched me in the ear and he busted my eardrum. Then he'd always say, I'm sorry, Brisky. I'm sorry, Brisky.
Why do you
called
call
me
you Brisky?
Disco Briscoe. So I was Disco Kid, so I was Disco, but Bobby changed it to Briscoe. So I was Brisky.
My guess is he did it on purpose.
Probably. But when Nick Gould's would have wrestling there on Friday nights, they would always come and help set the ring up. And them boys became wrestlers. Bobby,
what they did?
Bobby became a big star. One of the nicest guys in the world was Bobby Eaton.
Now you're turning that way. So you just turn against the microphone. no
I'm
matter
right
what.
here.
Yeah, you just
I did-
literally turned that way. We're talking. You just turned the opposite way of wherever the microphone
You're
is.
just like a you're,
I mean,
you're just like a girl. You're just like a
That
bitch.
is
You
unbelievable.
complain about
Yeah,
everything.
that is unbelievable.
You just complain about
Every time you
everything.
go back and watch the tape. Every time you turn toward me and talk, and the microphone's on the other side, and now today you're going to turn the opposite way and talk. That is awesome. Hey, you don't get no better than that, Rip. What's that? What is that? Is that talk to the hand? So
Talk
that's
to the
how
hand.
Bob Eaton got in, huh?
Yeah.
Started hanging out.
Then, but here the rib was, so Nick made him tag team with George Goulas.
His son.
Yeah. So Bobby was George would just sit there and had the big hot tag. So we got the big tall skinny guy that's skinny fat. He's making a big comeback, and Bobby's the one working his ass off. Then when Bobby wanted to go to Atlanta, when he was going, all of a sudden his car got broken into, and all of his stuff was stolen. But the only person who knew it was going there was Georgie.
Oh wow!
Imagine that, huh?
Was
So
he
Bobby
was
was
he that
the-
kind of guy?
I don't know what kind of guy he was.
I mean,
Well-
George Goulas. You think he would do something like that? Was he known?
Who
for that
knows what lurks in the mind of a rich kid?
Kind of
I know he
stuff?
said, "Daddy said sell."
I don't know what that
I
means.
remember he chopped me one time. He got mad at me because I hurt his hand when he chopped me.
I wonder what. We're
guess it
muted
wasn't
when we
right.
play him. I don't know how I can get unmuted. That's classic. Hey, classic king right there, Rip.
Classic King. But where was our classic music coming up?
We listened to the whole thing, and you were on your phone the whole time.
We finally dumped that disco stuff that you brought out there as a rib. So I just played up with it, and then now we're back to
the Starcade is what they're called.
Starcade. You know, I don't want to put it over because Starcade reminds me of Dusty, so I don't even want to say it.
Did I ever show you that video, that music video? Not the one I'm in that I showed last week. Yeah,
you showed me the one you were in.
No, not that one.
Oh,
the one that they put out already that Chili's in. Did you ever see that one?
No, they got.
Oh, it's awesome. I'll show it to you.
Footage of shooting up at Chili where it looks like he's 8'5" instead of 6'12".
I can't believe I've never shown you that. I had to have shown that.
Hey, I know what I need to see today. That chop, and I can hear Chili's girlfriend go.
Oh, hey. Hey, you.
Like the Wicked Witch of the West in the Wizard of Oz.
Man, I hope they don't watch this show.
Oh, as Marcus was saying when he was young, Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz.
That's awesome. 1,994 subscribers, Rip.
Well,
I mean, we're getting there, man.
Well, it's because of all the hard work I do. Wait a minute. Excuse me.
You're gonna. I know you're gonna tell me you get into groups. That's good, man. You should do something.
I mean, I'm looking hot. What do you expect me to do? I can't draw all the women. You know.
You should do something. So that's good, man. Hey, let's get into a couple emails. You want to knock out a couple emails?
Do we have any?
I think we do, actually.
Okay, always check before you say this. Oh, we don't have any.
I think we have a couple. I think so. Let me get in here.
Now, this ain't the live show. This is taped, right?
This is taped.
Okay, so when we open up live, we're going to have none on there.
So Roger IE2 or LE2 or whatever it is, I never remembered. I can't see. Right. So, hey, I just got my license renewed. It's been expired since October 29th. I passed that the vision test today. I was a little surprised.
Vision test or a vision test?
The vision test to get your license.
Vision. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, those letters are so big, though. What a rib that is. If you can't pass that thing, holy cow.
Well, see, if I take my glasses off, I couldn't even say, where's the sign at? Where's the test at? I can't see it.
So keep in mind, we don't do any prep, so Rip has no idea what these questions are. But this comes from Roger LE2. It says, hey, Rip, did you see the picture of John Mellencamp sitting during the national anthem at the Colts game last weekend? No. And Vaughn, you don't have to add this part, but if I was lucky enough to hit the lotto, quote unquote, and make it rich and famous, I would not be disrespectful to the men and women who paved the way the freedom to do so. Thanks. Off my soapbox now.
Well, in other words, if he would make a whole lot of money for free, then he would do that. Well, why don't he do like Mellencamp did and take a chance, go for your dream, become a multi-millionaire? You know why Mellencamp was a multi-millionaire? Say no, I don't know.
No, I don't know.
Okay, because he went to David Bowie's manager. That would become his new manager, like.
Mm-hmm.
And when they had all these everybody in there looked like David. They were all doing that gimmick, and the guy's just shaking his head like the king. All of a sudden, there's a little redneck from Seymour, Indiana, John Mellencamp, in the corner, and all of a sudden he stood out because he didn't have bleach blonde hair, etc. Right? So all of a sudden he became the big star.
That's a great story, but it doesn't really pertain to the email.
What was the email about?
So I'll just tell you, there's this picture floating around on Twitter, I think it was, or somewhere. What the picture appears, and I didn't see video, I just saw a picture, was they were doing the national anthem at the Colts game. You see everybody standing, whatever, hat off, hand on, whatever. And Mellencamp sitting there eating popcorn.
Well, was this in the press box, or if he was at the Colts game, he wouldn't be sitting out in a regular seat. He'd be up with all.
Well, the suites. I don't know if you've ever been to a suite at those stadiums, but
I've been to a bunch of sours.
So let's say normal seats are here. The suites, their seats basically go out kind of into the back of the seats, but people can't get in there. It's your own little personal area, but you're still basically seen by the crowd. Like,
well, why
like
would
I could turn around.
Why would you be at a Colts game? You're supposed to be looking at the flag. Your dad, who is a Vietnam veteran and got all the medals you could get that he had on his whatever. He had so many medals. He's the king. He's recognized as this and that, recognized as a badass, recognized as a leader, recognized for just being the king. Now, if you're sitting there and they're playing the national anthem at a Colts game, would you be turning around? Oh, look. Oh, I want to see if John Mellencamp's standing in the thing. First of all, why are you looking up there? Who gives a shit what somebody else is doing?
Roger Ellie too does. I knew you wouldn't throw him under the bus. That's fine. Right. You don't have to.
I'm not
going to throw him under the bus either because I don't know if that picture, you can never tell for sure. If he did it, yeah, I think it's I don't think it's a good move or a good look. I mean, at all. But I don't know. I can't really tell based on the picture. So I don't know. I mean, it could have been just getting started. People maybe stood up right before him, possibly.
He might have a serious leg injury like I have.
Could be.
You just don't know.
Could be, too. You never know. Sorry, Roger. Or not sorry, Roger, but that's our thing. Another one from Roger Ellie, too. Hey, dude.
Wait a minute now. Now, Roger. Oh, excuse me. Now, at IU, they have an indoor practice facility. The football team. Mm-hmm. What's it called? You know? I don't. Oh, it's the Mellencamp Pavilion. Oh, so he gave them millions and millions of dollars.
He didn't go to IU.
What's that got to do with anything?
Well, there are a lot of people from Seymour that think Mellencamp has never helped anybody out from Seymour, but he acts like Bloomington, his hometown, and donates all his money there.
At. Okay.
It's like he's like a wannabe. Hey, I went to IU. Well, he didn't really.
I don't think he said anything. He went to IU. He was an IU sports fan.
You think that's all it is?
Yeah. He made a big deal about going to college and gutted it out. I remember. Oh man. Oh, excuse me. You weren't there. You're too young.
Yeah, I don't know. I see it both ways. I'm not here to bash Mellencamp. I mean, I think he's going to come on our show one day. We'll ask him. I'll ask him the tough questions. I mean, I know you won't, but I'll ask him the tough questions. I'm not a Mellencamp hater.
Hey, me and Johnny got a bond, man. We was on the football team together. Hey, I'm 15 years old. The first high school game I ever played, we're playing Floyd Central. I'm second string in warm-ups. Keith Sin, who's a year older than me, he separates his shoulder in warm-ups. Guess who got stuck in the left side linebacker, which is everybody runs to the right towards. I got stuck, and I'm a sophomore. Now all of a sudden, anyway, to make a long story short, guess who played scared? Guess who was tackler of the game?
Mellencamp.
No, me.
I'm trying to figure out how this fits in with Mellencamp and you having a bond.
Well, Mellencamp was there. We had a new coach, Joe Szymanski. And everybody knew John was sort of a hoodlum. He had the long hair, spoke his mind, was cool, had a lot of women. And
you think he had swag?
He had swag before there was swag. And he had the cigarettes. He'd be standing downtown with Shorty Ballard. They'd be downtown, had the cigarettes rolled up in their sleeve. And Coach Szymanski said, "Oh, come on out for football, John. That's okay." And John went out for football and was on in the front row. There's John Mellencamp, center stage, right there in the middle.
Was he any good?
Was he any good?
Correct.
He was on the team.
Hold on. Was he any good?
He was fantastic. Greatest ever.
You need the headphones. Can you not?
I can't hear it. What?
I said, was he any good? And you said, was he any good?
Oh, wait a minute. Did you play high school football?
Well, I wasn't any good. I'm not gonna repeat the question just so I can get out of the answer. No, I sucked. I mean, it was terrible.
You're just like Roger.
Terrible.
You're just trying to stir shit.
Oh, man. All right, we got another email from Roger.
Roger's on fire. Of course, he ain't got a job, but he's on fire.
Hey, Vaughn, can you ask Rip? All right, I'm asking you, Rip, about a story I heard online.
Uh-oh, it's probably from Dutch, and he probably made it up.
The story is that the Masked Superstar, AKL Bill Eadie, beat Magnum TA when Bill was supposed to put TA over. Then after the match, he went off script and called out Dusty Rhodes in a shoot. It was in Greensboro, North Carolina. You remember any of that? Did that happen?
I don't know. Wasn't there. But a lot of stuff was worse than that's happening in wrestling. So Bill was a good worker, good guy, and had been working in the office at a lot of places. And but that's the first I heard about it.
So do you think, I mean, how often did that happen back then? Like somebody would win a match that they weren't supposed to win. You think it happened often?
If it did, the guys didn't talk about stuff. There wasn't no social media and stuff.
Yeah, I know, but like cards you were on, do you think it happened that much?
No, I don't think so. If so, the guy was leaving and was just laughing, doing it as a rib or whatever. He didn't give a shit. But then again, who's ever the offices is, that's like when you come into Watts, he held your payback for 2 weeks. But then when you left, you got 2 checks. So it's been mailed to the next place you was at or to your home address or whatever. But the good rib was you screw with the office, they got final say on your paycheck, see? So you could have supposed to been making this much money and they give you this much. Oh, you wanted to rib us, now we're going to rib you. So goes around, comes around.
Yeah. We got an email from Jay McElfresh of Starcade, who also does our intro song.
He's probably happy because the intro song is now.
It's back, baby.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So listen, guys, if you haven't checked out Starcade, go look at them. YouTube. They got an awesome wrestling video out there. They got another one coming out that I'm in. I'm in the video. It should be out soon. Very soon.
Your hair, is that one with your hair when you're beating him up and everything?
It's called a wig, Rip.
Okay, it's a wig.
It's a wig.
You didn't look like you.
Well, so I'm an actor. I'm in a video. I'm an actor.
Oh, okay.
This is like your favorite son, Dylan Bostic. Sometimes maybe in one of these big movies he's in, they might have him look like maybe not himself.
Well, so far he's just been, showing the jacked arms and looking good and do fighting. Hit some guy with a beer bottle on this one. It was good.
Yeah. And you're proud of him, aren't you?
Oh. Wish that was us on there. Hitting people with beer bottles and getting paid.
Jay McElfresh has a whole bunch of questions here. Thanks, Jay. We need emails. Helps us come up with content because we never know what we're going to talk about, except for Rip. He's got this big script here still from last week. We still not to it. Boy, I'm going to lead into these questions, though. It's going to be great.
There ain't no questions on there.
It's going to be great. Just wait until you hear me lead into these here. Oh, it's going to be fantastic. It says, what was the best match in the history of OVW?
Of OVW?
Yeah. I know my favorite match I ever watched there.
Why don't you enlighten us on that?
I will. It was Doug Basham versus Danny Basham. Doug Basham versus the Damager.
I can see that.
It was awesome.
I can see that. Yeah.
It was their last match before they were going up to SmackDown to then be partners, which Cornette about threw a fit on. But they had one of the best matches I've ever seen. The emotion in that building. Because, back then, OVW wasn't on national TV like NXT is.
Right.
I just think that's so dumb that your developmental is on national TV, because then what's the surprise when they come over? There's no newness. And unless you're kind of like me and never watch NXT, which I don't, most of these guys now that come in WWE, they've seen them. They've already seen them on national TV.
Now look at it this way.
I'm not changing my mind.
I didn't say you was changing your mind. I'm just telling you a different way.
Okay.
It's like if Ernie Ladd was going to be in and wrestle Bruno or San Martino in the main event at Madison Square Garden, but he hadn't been there before. He'd send matches showing what he looked like. He'd send different promos, but even though he hadn't been there, they want to introduce people so that when you bring a guy in cold, they don't know who he is. Oh, who's this guy? Turn the channel. Now, if he's been in NXT and has been a star at NXT. It's like the guy that's playing AAA baseball and he wins a Triple Crown at Indianapolis Indians, and all of a sudden he's brought up to the major leagues at the end of the season. Oh, man, I've heard about this guy all year. I've seen a video. Oh, he's good. They had some highlights on him. Or if he's just Joe Smith that they bring up.
Yeah, but that's different than being on national TV. AAA baseball is not on national TV. You see highlights and clips. I'm not against that. I don't think Cena, Batista, Orton, Lesnar, if you saw them every week on TV for 3 years before they came to WWE.
You've seen them for 20 years now.
I don't think they would have been nearly as big. I mean, when Batista came on, they're like, when Brock Lesnar came on for the first time, WWE, people didn't say, oh, who the hell is this guy? I've never seen him before.
Well,
they said, who the hell is this guy? This guy is a freaking beast.
No, here's the thing.
It wasn't the other way.
You can show your minor league wrestling development place, right? And then they said, oh, that's just this guy that was down there in the minor leagues for 3 years. And you're not excited to begin with. So it depends how you look at it.
I look at it as OVW, the way it was run then, was superb compared to NXT. When Brock Lesnar, I knew Brock Lesnar. And then when I knew what people were getting ready to find out on a national level when Brock Lesnar hit WWE that night, I had people call me, who the hell is this guy? I've known about him but just think if everybody already knew about him, because everybody, just like Braun Breaker, Steiner's kids.
Yeah.
Now, if you saw some clips of him, maybe from the Indies or something, or didn't know him at all, and then all of a sudden he showed up in WWE, I think it'd be much more impact than everybody's seen in him over and over and over and over again. My opinion. Anyway, my favorite match ever was Doug and Danny. All those OVW people down there, the fans that is, have been through that whole thing with them. Because
it was the storytelling.
Yeah, because they were together. They turned.
Yes.
Danny, the Damager, became the good guy. He was almost like Stone Cold down there because he was still cool and did his shit, and you know, he was a baby face, but he was more like a Stone Cold baby face. Not cool, get your moves in and that thing, but he was just he was still a badass, but a good guy. And then that match was awesome.
When you get two guys working and they storytell, they do nothing but basics. You don't care about your moves. It's the emotion, the intensity, the body language of a contest, of a fight, of an ass kicking, potential ass kicking. You're really interested. When you watch a movie, you get a good heel that's killing people, and then he's just all emotion, a badass. And here comes the little good guy. The little good guy at the end's fighting him, and good triumphs over evil. Man, you're interested in that thing the whole time. It's not the moves. It's the emotion. It's the selling of each other. It's simple.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot more great matches. Any match that stuck out to you, Rip? Any match when you were there wrestling or when you were there training? I know you didn't go to a lot of the shows, maybe a spot. Anything that stuck out to you that you can remember?
No, not really. You see so many of them. It's like when you hit the winning bucket against Bedford North Lawrence, you know.
I would remember that.
You would remember that, yeah.
So no,
but
I don't know what. So I have no idea how that's related to
there were so many
anything.
When you had thousands and thousands and thousands of matches and observed how many of them, hell, I can't remember if my pants are zipped up, let alone certain matches.
Speak up, Rip. Come on. We need some life out of you today, baby. Today is Wednesday.
Yeah, you're right. It is Wednesday. Tomorrow's Thursday.
It's often said Vince loved big athletic heels. If that was the case, how the hell Von Life's not getting around? I don't know. We're not getting probably because I got my lean legs. That'd be the reason, probably.
Probably because you know me.
Yeah, I had a lot of heat with Rip, probably. Yeah. I mean, that's probably why I didn't get in. I was blackballed.
Probably.
I remember when they were still a lot of the steroids were going on in WWE, and I had just been divorced and lost about 20 pounds because I didn't eat. And I had a tryout run or match or show or weekend or something with WWE. Who was the guys that Tony Gurria maybe? Did he have like curly gray hair?
Right.
I think he was doing the payoffs at that time. Yeah. I went to the table to get my check, and
Did he start chuckling?
I had like a cutoff sleeve shirt on.
Oh my God.
And I went to get my my check and been in the ring, and he looked at me and he said, he did one of yours. He's
You are
like,
allowed to work
you,
out?
you are allowed to go to the gym. I was like, awesome. This is great. Literally was down like 20 pounds in
Right.
no time.
And when you're that tall, it's
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, you are allowed to go to the gym. I was like, oh, great. All right. Well, I'm not getting signed today, boys.
maybe next week.
Maybe next week. What's the best match you've ever been in? Man, Rip hates these questions. I don't mind these questions. I would say, man, probably me and APOC in that ladder match was the one that put me out of commission. I'd say that was my favorite match for sure. Anything I did with APOC was up there with me. I mean, anytime you can wrestle Rip, Nick Dinsmore, Mondo, those guys, those matches are always fun and always easy and things like that. Great time with all those. But probably the one I was most, is it vested or invested? I never know the difference. It's probably APOC in the ladder match. It was a big payoff match. I won the title, baby.
I remember one night I was wrestling Adrian Street the first time we were in Chattanooga, Tennessee. When the night was over, Ron Fuller come in and he was working the big angle, him and Bob Armstrong with the turn and everything. And he said, I made a big mistake tonight. I should have put you guys on last.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I said, well, I knew that. Adrian knew that, but that ain't our place to say. He goes, well, now I know. So, but that was a big compliment.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Adrian was just so good. When he was a heel, you hated that little turd more than anybody, right? Then he turned babyface and you loved it. The more they love you, and the more they hate you when you turn, or the more they hate you, and then when you turn, the more they love you.
Yeah,
that's what pro wrestling is.
So was there ever a big? Because I never wrestled like on a big card or big show, big crowd. Was there ever like a big crowd with a match like that ever stuck out to you? Like,
no, it's like playing. I guess it'd be like if you was playing in the World Series. Each at bats, you're focused on the ball coming in. You're not, you're just completely, there might be 20 people there. There might be 60,000 people there. And some night it just clicks. Everything's there. And everything's like, you can see everything in slow motion. Everything's flowing. You're on the same page without saying anything. You're just two pros going at it, and the people are invested in it because both of you have been around. When you start out, you can't be any good in anything. Just think when you was a rookie teacher, how nervous you were starting out, and then 10 years in, you don't even have a lesson plan. You don't need to.
Yeah, I never did that.
Right. So, but wrestling, when you was thinking about talking about the thing with the Basham brothers, and then because they were there so long at OVW, and they were before WWE come in, so they always had special training. It was a smaller group, so they got more individual training. You could correct them more because there wasn't that many in class, and all of a sudden you got 70 people there. It's a different story. The mass production of DCW on the floor.
Yeah.
Hey, get the mats out, go upstairs.
Yeah.
We'd have 70 people there sometimes.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And it was just like every practice was like Madison Square Garden. A lot of people got signed out of there, that class.
What was the best match you've ever witnessed in person? Was there ever a match that you watched as a fan, Rip, that you can remember as a kid, on TV, in person?
I always said the best matches psychological wise was Buddy Rogers, Pat O'Connor, 61 Comiskey Park.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Speak up and get loud.
Now,
come on.
The best match I ever saw on TV when I'm just casually watching it was Ric Flair against Terry Funk in an I Quit match.
Wow. That surprises me.
Because, well, Terry Funk, he's
Yeah.
one of my top 2 ever,
Yeah.
you know, and he's just so out there, such a character. The intensity, his facials, he's just so good. And at the end, they had an I quit match away, and all of a sudden he's screaming, I quit, I give up, yes, I quit. And the place is going nuts because it's a straight finish, right? And I think the heels tried to beat up Flair or whatever, and then Terry Funk makes the comeback, and him and Flair are you know what I mean? And now they're good together. You know what I mean? So they give him that straight finish. And Funk put Flair over big time, and then they're together again, and everybody's happy.
So it all happened that night?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, did it really?
Uh-huh.
Wow. So what was the first one? A Comiskey of Pat O'Connor?
Oh, it's Pat O'Connor against Buddy Rogers.
Now, did you actually see that on it?
No,
on it?
It's on YouTube all over the place.
All right. That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, 1961, Comiskey Park. They had about 38,000 people there. Every cover was a pin unless Rogers got his foot on the rope.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this is for all you people have to do your false finishes. Fuck you. It means you don't know how to fucking work. Oh, it's got to be 2.9. Then you got to go, oh, on each one. Well, there was none of that. Excuse me.
God, I just saw on Raw 2 weeks ago. So they got JBL out with Baron Corbin. I don't know who puts this shit together, but he's wrestling this little guy. I can't even remember his name, but some little bitty guy. And this guy does a dive, like a headbutt dive on Corbin outside early. So then they set it up to where he's going to do the headbutt dive again late, which is fine. Corbin sideswipes, and throws him into the wall.
Okay,
right?
Beautiful.
He gets back in the ring, and when the guy comes to and gets back in the ring, the first thing Corbin tries, the guy reverses him and gets a big move in. And I'm like, what? You just set all that up so beautifully. And in 20 seconds, this little dude's back on top.
Okay, now.
Oh, don't defend it.
No. How many times do you hear me say, I don't watch today's wrestling?
God, but Corbin's, JBL's out there with him. Like,
you can't control.
You don't think JBL was in on that match? I just don't know, man. Like, it's just like, God, I just don't get it. How can you have that great of a heat spot, set it up perfectly, and then let the guy back on top of you in no time?
Okay. I'm counting to 10 is what I'm doing.
Okay. I don't know how you're going to be mad at me on this. I think I'm right.
I'm not mad at you.
Okay.
What I'm saying is a lot of the WWE superstars ain't worth a shit.
Okay.
Okay. And now when you can see it like that means you're understanding the business.
Yeah, it is.
But marks don't know. They think they know everything. They're just, God. They're just guys watching stuff. Oh, what a cool move. Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, so if I remember right, he let the guy get back on top. Bing, bing, bing. Goes to the top, goes to jump off. Corbin catches him, hits his finish, and it's a 1, 2, 3. I'm like, why do that spot then? Why even do the kill spot outside and ram your guy's head into the wall? It didn't mean shit. No sold it and got right back on top. I don't get it. Anyway. This is coming to be the Jay McElfresh show today. All these questions Jay has.
Okay, well, as long
it's a Jay McElfresh show.
He needs to take me out for some Mexican food. Pick me up at the gym. Give me some nice beans and burritos, where I can be Fart City. We can talk stories. We can talk about Starcade.
Yeah,
we
can
talk about, and maybe they can play it. Maybe we can get it at the Mexican restaurant. We can just have
play
Starcade right there.
Maybe you could be in the next music video.
That could, yeah.
You know, the last one, I think he actually tried to get you in it. Maybe. I can't remember. We went to New York. I remember he threw out an email to like Bobby Eaton and Stan Lane or something. Can't remember. Oh, so it says, what was the best match you witnessed in person? Now he follows it up with, what do you think the best match of all time was? A lot of people say Funk Flair. Holy shit.
Huh.
The I Quit match.
Hey, now just think, when something sticks out in my mind like that, and I can say, whoa.
You already said it. See, we don't prep. Rip had no idea that was even in the email. Hell, I didn't even know it was in the email. Funk Flair, I Quit match. Savage Steamboat, of course. People mention that all the time. Cornette says Lawler Funk at the Louisville Gardens.
Well,
Do you know that match?
It
Or
wasn't.
could
It
have been
wasn't
multiple
televised.
matches. Yeah.
Yeah, well, they would have took it around the loop, right? But when Funk and Lawler was money, because they were the same generation. You know what I mean? And Terry Funk was they made him world champion. He was so good. They made his brother world champion. He was so good. His dad was a promoter. He was in the business his whole life. So he had that mentality. And he was like a loose cannon. He just didn't know what he was going to do.
What about in real life?
Well, I remember when we was in Germany, he come over to me and Regal's Caravan, was just telling stories all night and was drinking beer. We just sit there.
So he was nice?
Oh, he was just nice. Just a normal guy.
I remember as a kid, when he came to Memphis.
You scared to death of him.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, he was like a nut, wasn't he?
Now, when I got older and he was older, doing a lot of that crazy stuff with like Mick Foley and stuff, he was just older then. He still just did a bunch of crazy shit. But when I was a kid, now, did he come with the branding iron? Was that him ever in Memphis?
Oh, yeah.
Did he have the branding iron?
Uh-huh. He'd hit you with the branding iron, or they'd do a thing where like they'd burn you with it or whatever. He'd stick it in you.
Did they really do that?
You don't ask Harry Houdini about how he does his tricks.
I'm not asking Harry. I'm asking you. I'm not asking Terry Funk.
I don't want to know how they do it.
You don't.
I just act like, he burned.
Sure, looked like it. I remember they did that, and then I remember, God, I can't remember if it was Chavo Senior. It would have been Chavo Senior. Or Hector. Was Hector Guerrero there, wasn't he, in Memphis?
Probably.
And they did they had this ointment or something. And they would put it on guys and make their hair fall out or whatever.
The Freebirds thing with they would do the thing and rub it on you, and you see it with
they made people's hair fall out somehow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is that a Harry Houdini question too?
Yeah, no, it was the special Freebird cream. Michael Hayes would put it on them, and then they would,
Mount Rushmore pro wrestlers. I don't know. Rip probably won't answer that question for sure. I wouldn't be able to. Mine would be more generational. I just grew up. I loved watching like you, Handsome Jimmy Valiant, Austin Idol. It was more the Michael P.S. Hayes, like the flamboyant guys who I got into. Skip that. I like the typical Rock, Austin, Mankind, that group. After that, I don't know.
Well, you can only talk about the guys you see in their prime.
Yeah.
So that's like, these are the greatest is the WWE. I said, that don't mean anything.
Yeah.
You could have been the same territory at Eddie Graham being the best workers in the business down there, but you was on regional TV and nobody saw you unless you live there. It's one thing being on cable TV or the world seeing you. It's another thing just being on select markets seeing you. So you don't know who the best guys are. It's like that's like in basketball. If the NBA had television and the ABA didn't, you would think the NBA guys were the greatest. But when they had the merger, when the four teams come over and the other guys, they picked them up and bought them and sold them, all the owners did. The next year, half the leading scorers were the guys that played in the ABA. The ABA had the three-pointer. The ABA, they worked harder. They were signing all the young guys and everything. The NBA was the boring, bring it up slowly. And the ABA was run and gun.
You hate answering questions, don't you?
No.
It doesn't really matter. That's not the question. Like, it's who you personally, like, who do you think? It doesn't matter if other people saw him on national TV or who other people saw, the NBA, ABA. It's like, hey, Rib, who do you think's the best?
The best can be the only thing that you have seen.
Okay, well, you've seen pretty much everything.
No, I've seen so many guys since I started.
Right. So just like I preference mine with, these are who it would be when I was a kid. These are who would be older.
But the thing about it is,
and then I said, now I don't know. I don't watch it.
And
as much.
The ones you liked as a kid, remember, you were a kid and you didn't know nothing about the wrestling.
And I was also going to say that these are my people that I liked. I'm not ever going to list a Mount Rushmore of just who I think is the greatest technical wrestler or whatever. I mean, to me, it's who did I like watching? These are the people I liked watching. That's what I'll name. Like, do I think Austin Idol needs to be on the Mount Rushmore of wrestlers? Probably not, but I loved Austin Idol. And I was really pissed, Rip, to see these videos that I just got out of the vault when you were so mean to Austin Idol, my boyhood, one of my idols, no pun intended.
Well, you got to remember, Idol was a devious heel. Then he would turn babyface, and it was okay.
Not the Austin Idol I watched. You were just not very nice, Rip. I think that might do it for emails. Keep them coming. TheLilaStudios@gmail.com. TheLilaStudios@gmail.com.
At least, like I've been telling you, to play Starcade more, and you kept putting that stupid disco music on there.
The Jay McElfresh Show today, ladies and gentlemen.
It is, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah.
Roger's got a lot of good questions he's figuring out, but I think he wants to be on a John Mellencamp video.
I think so.
But Little Sexy he's got that market with John Mellencamp.
Little Sexy.
Yeah.
Did you watch any of the AEW? Have we talked about AEW pay-per-view? No, that was Saturday, I think. I don't think so. MJF, they did let him win, or he did win, whatever it is. He is now the champ, baby. He beat Jon Moxley. The only clip I saw on that was William Regal slipped him the brass knucks. So Regal apparently turned on Moxley. You know anything about that? Regal tell you that or anything?
No.
Mm-mm. And they're going to have another turn. They had another turn. Keith Lee turned. I mean, that's all they do in that show is turn.
Okay, right there.
I mean, it's turn, and more turns.
Right there. That's right. Turns, and more turns. Now, in the wrestling business, they used to tell you, which they throw it out the window now, you have one turn in you. It's like Jimmy Valiant was always a heel. Then he turned babyface. He's been a babyface for years and years and years, for 40 years. You don't be going back and forth. They took Big Show and just destroyed him. Remember, Andre had the one turn, right?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Big Show, every 2 months, they would turn him, it would seem like.
Yeah, and I'm not even talking about really just one person, but like so many turns on the same program that they don't mean anything anymore.
That's sensory overload. It's too much. You can't remember. You can't.
Yeah, who's good and who's bad.
You're not fighting for the girl's life and you got 22 girlfriends. You've got the one girlfriend when you got the story in it. Then you're fighting for her. They're throwing all this shit against the wall because they don't know what to do. Well, hey, I looked up and you know who I think he's got the worst winning percentage of all the NFL. As long as guess who's got the worst?
I would guess the Tony Khan's dad.
Yeah,
I would guess.
Yeah, God, unbelievable.
So I can't remember if we talked about this or not. I think I was on the Ben Hameen show, Hameen Media Group. Shout out to Ben Hameen Media Group. ChannelAttitude.com, the Russo brand.
Oh, my arm.
I was on that show Monday, Rip.
How many wives does he have now?
I think 72. The
I
Monday
it was
morning.
124.
Monday, I think some of them left him. The Monday morning locker room, and we were talking a little bit.
Those blue pills to satisfy.
I think daily. I think daily. Yes.
Hourly.
What was just talking about?
He was talking about Ben Hameen taking blue pills.
No, we were talking about Tony Khan.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I remember now. So the worst record in NFL history's son, Tony Khan. So that's the dad. Tony, I think, kind of has something to do with that too. So they went back. They had the AEW media scrum again after the show. You know, so they had like a 6-hour show and then a 2-hour press conference, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
MJF came in and cussed everybody out. F-bomb, every other word, just told them all to fuck off. They're a bunch of fucking marks. And
well, now here's the thing about
he left.
Here's the thing
awesome.
about him. Now he's awesome. Now why is he? But he don't go to WWE to do that. They just fire. They just get rid of you.
Yeah.
No, he's lucky enough to have a guy that's a mark, and he's like a. I didn't know. He looks like a girl.
Yeah.
Acts like a girl.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Oh yeah, no. He's a sissy. He's a nerd. A rich nerd. Now, if I had all that money, I'd be training all day. Oh man.
Yeah. So Saraya, who used to be called Paige in WWE.
I don't even know what the question is, but I'm gonna answer it before you even ask. How can this girl who was young to begin with hardly have any matches? You can be brought up in a wrestling family, but if you ain't put your time in the ring and have matches, now all of a sudden she gets hurt for 5 years. Now you don't put somebody in the ring like that.
I mean, can't you eventually? Daniel Bryan came back. Edge came back after 8 years.
Okay, but what I'm saying is when Edge got hurt, he had wrestled a whole lot. When Saraya, or whatever her name is, she hardly worked at all at WWE, and she was a young girl. And now she's had all this time off. She should be having practice matches with the stars for 2 years before you're seen on a big thing like that.
Assuming she hasn't been, which I don't think she has been.
They're not that smart.
So, kind of along those lines, in the media scrum, she wrestled Dr. Britt Baker in the match.
Okay.
So in the media scrum, she comes in and says that how nervous she had been on these promos and how nervous and rusty she was in the ring, which is right on your point where you say she should be wrestling for 2 years before you ever see her. So she doesn't look like shit.
That.
Right, but that's how dumb it is. And she said Dr. Britt Baker carried her through these promos, carried her through this match. If it wasn't for her being such a professional and being able to carry me through all this, I wouldn't have been able to talk about her opponent. That was she's supposed to just have a real, hates on TV,
and you wonder why AEW is total bullshit.
Yeah, she thanks her for all her help getting her through all this.
That's the stuff you don't talk about. Now, well, we talk about shit like that because if everybody else is, what are we supposed to say? Oh no, wrestling is real.
Yeah, well,
yeah, wherever
they shouldn't be doing it. You don't see MJF come in saying that crap. I guarantee you that.
Hey, he needs to stay with Tony Khan.
Yeah,
because he can be the king there. He can do all of his own promos. He can do what the hell he wants to do. Would you quit calling me? There, I'll just turn that off. Now you don't turn me on.
Man, you're on fire today, Rip.
Yeah. Well, you
got swag.
You got stuff to do.
Got swag. Yeah, that shit, man. I don't get it at all.
Well, okay. The question with the Jaguars, the worst team. Here's the worst wrestling. But it's a place for the boys to go. When WWE made house cleaning, guys needed a job. They didn't want to go. McDonald's is hiring. They didn't want to go there. Walmart's hiring. They didn't want to go there. Amazon's hiring. They didn't want to go there.
Yeah,
Nothing wrong with that.
No.
They scooped Wriggle right up.
I mean, if Tony's hiring us, we're going, right, Rip?
Oh, hell yeah. Then would I be if he asked me a question, would I tell him the truth?
Would you tell him in the microphone?
I'd try and tell him in the microphone. I'd probably get my hair.
Look at this.
Yeah. Hey, I'd probably get my hair redone,
like
I did in the 70s, and had the permanent with the black hair. Then,
yeah,
and I'd look like Tony Khan. I'd get me some gimmick glasses, or I'd look Tony.
You could be the Disco Khan.
It's lovely. I could imitate all Tony's mannerisms and every. Oh, might be an honorary member of the family. They might adopt me. Sort of like the Bloodlines, right? With Sami Zayn. Is that what his name is?
Yeah.
I would always see stuffs and clips.
He's hilarious,
and
man.
He steals the show. What a comedian it is. He's great.
Yeah.
And I'd never seen Roman Reigns like when it was the tribal chair where they was doing something. He just opened his eyes wide when
and the other ones are trying not to break character.
Yes,
over there putting their head down.
And that's what's so good because I don't watch it. Then all of a sudden I see that. I said, "Holy shit, is this good?"
Yeah,
because I don't watch it all the time.
He's good without just going out there trying to be like saying stupid comedy stuff. Like he just puts those little one-liners and tries to act serious, but really he's being hilarious. I saw a little bit of Monday Night Raw. And I'm not a big Kevin Owens fan. I think he should not chop people with a shirt on. We've talked about that for a long time on this show. But I tell you what, Kevin Owens on the mic, too, he did some commentary for a match. Just some of the little things he says on there are just hilarious, man. Like he is He's good. He's pretty good at that stuff. And Zane's right there with him. And I think WWE definitely needs more of that because the rest of that show is boring as shit.
Well, there's too much wrestling on TV.
I mean, it's. I tried to watch it the other night. And they got guys on there that, God, I just.
On what show?
It was Monday Night Raw, and it was just.
They got guys on there. What? What did you say?
That just were like. Kind of like, why are they on here? Green or irrelevant,
it's
boring.
No, it's to get guys wins.
I understand that.
To get guys wins. You need to get guys wins with their big signature move or whatever.
Yeah.
So then when they work with the star, it don't work.
Yeah, but it wouldn't even. Yeah, I don't know. It just. I don't know, Rip. It's tough.
Well. You don't have a star versus a star, then you don't want to see your star lose on TV, any of them.
Well, here's what I don't get to. Like, all of them do it. The women especially do it, but even the guys do it so much now. And I think the reason is because the building is freaking silent. I think they're silent. So either they're doing it to try to get the crowd into it, or they've always done it. You just couldn't hear them. But everybody on that show, like, yells now all the time. Like, during, like, when they're throwing punches, it's raw, like it's all just over the top, vocal, just yelling, screaming. It's just like, and they're doing it, I feel like, to try to get a reaction either one way or the other. And it's still just silence. Just everybody does it too. Everybody yells the entire match.
If everybody yells, yelling means nothing.
Yeah,
if everybody's got music means nothing. If everybody Tennessee stomp means nothing. If everybody does a dive means nothing. You got to be special out there. I just see what everybody else is doing, and you do just the opposite.
Yeah, I just want to see one person go out there and kick somebody's ass and not try to yell, scream, and get fans approved. Just do it, and then I think people will naturally start getting into it.
Johnny Valentine could have a riot, not say a word.
Yeah,
he'd just be like a slow Frankenstein robot and just glare at the fans, glare at the camera. Whatever's the babyface is selling big time, and he's not, and he's got a devilish little giggle and a look in his eye, and everything's in slow motion. He don't have to say anything. He's got that audience.
Yeah, the one person I do think they're trying to do, I know you probably don't even know who he is, but there's a lot of heat on Austin Theory because they had him cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase for the U.S. title instead of the main title. And then he also lost to boot, and everybody was throwing Triple H under the bus and the whole thing under the bus. Now, I don't know if Triple H's response to that is what they're doing now with him, or if it was his plan all along, but they've made Austin Theory, who was Vince's kid, was always doing selfies in the ring with people and kind of a young, arrogant guy, to now serious. Said he's hit rock bottom and focused. And really, I think it's that thing. I am kind of liking it a little bit.
Okay, first of all, when the guy's doing the selfish or the selfie gimmick, right? Already you hate him. And now all of a sudden he starts losing and he starts doubting himself. And it's like, you're not your same, maybe I'm not good enough. Now all of a sudden he's an underdog. Now he gets your attention. He's doing what real life would be, because he's this cocky guy on the outside. He was Vince's boy. Well, Vince ain't there now, at least on purpose, on supposedly.
Yeah.
He's busy spending $20 more million. Good rib.
Now, would you do this and have him turn good guy then? Because I feel like he's still a heel for sure.
Well, it depends what their short range plan is, their long range plan, what they're wanting to do at some pay-per-view or at WrestleMania or SummerSlam or whatever. Depends where you got your peaks and valleys.
Yeah.
It's like if we was pushing you, we're pushing you for the big WrestleMania main event. It's a slow, we're starting fucking 8 months away for storytelling. Then all of a sudden you have WrestleMania and you get hurt, but then you get hurt, you get laid out, you're in the hospital. Oh my God. Now you're in the hospital for 4 months, but now you got the 8-month build for the next thing, to cash in on it.
Yeah. I mean, if you're saying me, WrestleMania, of course, if I was there, I mean, it would be WrestleMania, right? I mean, that's what my big push would be.
Oh, well, you would probably just tell them what your push should be, right? Like the King would do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's right, baby. I'd be the main event of WrestleMania. The king, the undefeated king of managers, King Carl, would be in my corner. And if we could get the hustler Rip Rogers to be able to walk down that ramp, man, we would take him down too. Maybe we could have you and King in like a race. Who could get there the slowest? You know, the King could be on his cane. You could walk with that, dragging that foot limp deal, and we could see who could get down there the slowest between you and the King.
There'd be no winners.
It'd be like a Romer in West Virginia. My match would be over by the time you and the King got down there. It'd be awesome, especially at WrestleMania, as long as that ramp is going to be.
Well, then, hey, WrestleMania, they're going to have, what do they have, a 6-hour show that day?
I don't know.
Well, now they're going to have WrestleMania 2 days, right?
I think it has been for years, Rip.
Okay, well, I've never watched 1 second of it, so I don't know.
Breaking news. Rip Rogers just broke news. They're going to have 2 days of WrestleMania now.
Well, they should have 3 days at least. Well, see, in the one of the early WrestleManias, they had it in 3 different places.
All the same night?
Yeah, and
were they all on TV?
They were all on TV, but if you were there, you looked on the big closed circuit, or there at the because like Bundy was against Hogan in one of the matches, and then they had 2 other main events. Like, let's just say, I can't remember what it was. Like they had. They were in Los Angeles, and they had one on the East Coast, let's say New York City, and then they had one in Chicago. So you had all these live underneath matches there, but then you had, like, when Bundy's match with Hogan was on, that was on all the screens there. When some other big match, whatever it was. Yeah. So they had different, it's just different concepts, everything's bottom line.
Bottom line, baby.
Just think if Vince would have, the first WrestleMania, if that wouldn't have been a success, he was done. All the money would be gone.
15 years.
All the other promoters be laughing. Be trying to squash him, get rid of him. But then again, if he wasn't in control and in power, then nobody cared about him anyway.
But he made it, baby.
He made it all right.
What number are they on? WrestleMania what?
I don't have a clue.
I was in 23. That was a long time ago.
Hey, it's like, they have the UFC numbers.
Yeah.
Like, we're at UFC 2,758, I think.
Hey, that's how we're going to be. I never know. I asked you today what it was. Episode 40.
We got the
Just think when we're on episode 390. 4,000.
You'll have to get a bigger screen. Because you can't really see episode 40.
That's right, yeah. We're definitely gonna get a bigger screen, Rip. So we're done here, Rip.
We're done.
I mean, we're in for an hour. That was our outro music right there. We missed it. So what we need you to do is go to YouTube, Wrestling with Rip Rogers. Hit that subscribe button. Smash it. Become a member. $1.99 member for our big awesome chat rooms that we have going on. Buy Rip's book, Rip. You got your book here?
As far as the wrestling is, what I did was I intimidated a lot of people. I didn't give a fuck.
The book on pro wrestling lessons from Rip Rogers. This would be one of the greatest Christmas presents you could buy. A Thanksgiving present. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving. You get a Thanksgiving gift.
Get it that quick.
Okay, well, whatever. You can get it as a late Thanksgiving present. How about those T-shirts, Rip? ProWrestlingTees.com.
Hey, go down to Sean Malone's place and see more. Get Husker beer, right?
And a billfold.
Yeah.
So swole that I can't get the shit closed. So
sure
I
he has, man.
and rubber band rap.
Probably
And when
did, I
it
would
pop,
say.
bitches sound like a hand clap. Grown man rap. Bitch, I'm talking big gold. And the chick to my right, she a centerfold.
That's weird.
Dead winter cold, country fair, Florida.
All right, Rip.
So
We're out of here. Episode 40.
Call me
Have a happy
corduroy.
Thanksgiving,
So many
everybody.
lines and they're wrapped around that building. Boy, got
Wrestling
stacks up to
with
the
Rip
ceiling, boy.
Rogers.
So don't be fucking